All right, so let's go ahead and model the head. So what I'd like to do is actually, I'm going to unlock this front view reference here, actually both of these, and I'm going to hold shift and select both and just shift them over. And what I'm going to do, I'm holding alt and middle mouse clicking, is just basically, I'm going to try to line this up with the center here. And with this image selected, let's go to our material here. We have our little kid PNG here. And let's see if we can do. Actually, what if I hit Alt C here? Just kind of opening up my X-ray mode. I'm trying to find the center line here. Again, he's pretty symmetrical, so it doesn't necessarily matter. We just need to kind of get our cube somewhere centered. Actually, let's see something on the. Yeah, I think that's fine. Again, I'm fine with being sloppy in this video. We're just going through the process. We're not really doing perfection right now. So both of these, I'm going to shift them back just a little bit, just cleaning up my reference a little bit. All right, so how do we make objects? I'd like to make an object that's the shape of this character's head. I'm not a big proponent of using the default spheres that come with these programs. I like to make everything out of cubes. So I'm going to hold Shift and A, or you can go to up at the top here, Add, and you can bring up the same menu. And I'm going to go to Mesh and just create a cube. Now on this cube, what I'm going to do is just going to try to line it up a little bit. And if yours is solid, I pressed Alt and Z here. And this is what turns on X-ray mode. That's this guy right here, this little button in the right-hand corner here. And I'm just going to try to line this up with the center of my character's head. And then I'm going to hit Control or 2. Let me open up my modifier tab so you can see this. And what this does is this adds a subdivision modifier. So if you don't see that or your Command 2 doesn't work, you can click on here, hit Add Modifier, and just start typing sub for subdivision modifier. And you can see this is 1. If you go 2, it goes a little bit stronger. If you want to see the wireframe on top of it, go to Visibility here, or Viewport Display, and turn on Wireframe. And now you can see we have a wireframe that represents that. And what I'd like to do is really, our character's head is the shape of a ball, and we're going to make the hair second or separate. So what I'll do is, again, I'm just going to go back into my modifier stack here, and I'm just going to make it level 2. And if you hit Alt-Z here to see through it, you can see that's what our sphere looks like. So I'm going to hit S to scale that down just a little bit. Again, Alt-Z again, just to see if I can get it to match the shape. I think that's good. What I might do is give them a little bit more on the top here. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and apply this change, which is the smooth here. And so I'm going to go to my modifiers tab here, and then I'm going to click on this arrow and hit apply. Or you can hit Control A and that'll apply it. And now you can see that we have all of the geometry here. Now to modify this so that we can move the character, make him a little bit more top heavy, is you can go to object mode here and go to edit mode, or if you press the tab key, you can select edit mode here. Now what this gives you access to is the ability to edit this sphere. And there are 3 things that you really focus on when you're editing a sphere. And that's editing vertexes, which is, if you look up in the left-hand corner here, you can access that by pressing the 1 key. And that's these little dots here. And what a vertex is where 2 lines intersect and connect, it creates a vertex. So if I select my move tool here, you can see I can select that and I can move this vertex upward. I can move it left and right. And I'm just going to hit Control Z I think it's Command Z on the Mac to undo that. Another thing I can do is edit an edge. That's where 2 vertices have a connecting line. That's what this edge is here. And I can press the 2 to select an edge. Or I can go up here in the left-hand corner in the top and select edge mode. Now where there's 3 or more triangles or 3 or more edges connected by vertices, you can have a face or a polygon. So I'm going to press the 3 key here, and that allows me to edit or select these polygons. And I do these a lot in my videos. And again, for me, the foundation of cylinders, everything, spheres, is I always make everything out of a cube. So another thing that you'll notice is this is a little faceted, which means it doesn't look smooth. So I'm going to make sure this is selected. I'll go back to object mode. And if I click off of this, and let's actually turn off wireframe to see this a little bit better, you could see that we have all of these faceted, unsmoothed edges. So you can see as I move around. And I want the character to look smooth. I don't want him to look faceted. And there are some video games that use this as a style, and that's completely okay. So I'm going to select this, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do shade smooth, and that gives me a smoothed out sphere. Now, something else I'd like to do is, and we're going to do this in a moment, is I'm going to paint on this sphere, but what I'd like to do is just duplicate whatever I'm doing on one side onto the other. So what I'm going to do is hold Alt and middle mouse click to snap forward. If you have a keyboard with a numpad on the side, you can just press the 0 key or the 1 key, and that'll go to your front view. Or actually, let's go ahead and just edit this like I was saying before to move it up a little bit. Let's turn wireframe back on. I'm going to hit Tab and hit Edit Mode, and I'm going to press the 1 key or select this here, and I'm going to select this top vertice that's at the top here. What I'd like to do is, if I pull it up now, you can see it creates this hard edge. I would like to create like a fall off or a smoothed out area that'll allow me to sort of pull more than one vertice, so it kind of gives me a little bit more movement. And I could do that here, and this is my proportional editing tool. So if I press the O key on my keyboard, or I turn this on and I pull this up, you can see it, as I'm pulling it up, it gives me this circle, which is the radius of how much it can pull. Now if I roll my wheel in and out, it gives me a little bit more control. So all I wanted to do was just show you this tool, and I'm going to pull this up just a little bit, and I think that looks good. I could also give him a little bit of a chin here by clicking this little vert down here and just moving this forward, and that's really all I want to do. All right, so let's go ahead and delete half of the faces here, and then we're going to mirror it. We're going to do some stuff so that we can edit this essentially, so we can texture this. So we're going to actually texture the face right away. So I'm going to press the 3 key to go to face mode, and then I'm going to turn on X-ray mode here. Again, the way you could do it with the hotkey is just hitting Alt and Z. And I'm going to highlight everything on the left side of the head, and I know it's highlighted because it turned orange. I'm going to press the delete key, and I'm going to delete faces. Next thing I'm going to do is hit Tab, go to object mode again, and with that selected, the head here, half of the face deleted, I'm going to go back over here to my modifiers panel, and I'm just going to start typing mirror. And what it did is it mirrored that head across of it. Now what's nice about mirror, and you can see it's across the x-axis, if I hit Tab and I go to edit mode here, anything I do on one side, it'll mirror that on the other side. Now I don't want it to separate like that when I mirror, so I'm going to go and turn on clipping here, and now with clipping on, it'll keep that center welded together. Okay, it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead, and we're going to get into much better detail later on how to unwrap a character. But what I'd like to do is unwrap this head so that I can paint on it. And actually, you know what I'm going to do is, I think this is a good place to stop. What we'll do in the next video is we'll unwrap and texture our character's head. And don't forget to Control S to save this.